NFL 21. We'll see Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on Desean Watson and the Houston Texans.
EA Sports coverage in the National Football League brings us to Western Pennsylvania and Heinz Field in the Steel City of Pittsburgh. Moments ago, a scene that's played here since 2004. Big Ben Roethlisberger greeted by this sold-out Heinz Field crowd. His Steelers getting set to match up with the Houston Texans. Field as Chris Boswell tees it up and boots it away. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. Out now comes two-time Pro Bowler Desean Watson in his fourth year now in the league as he gets set to operate this Houston Texans offense.
When we talk about the best dual quarterbacks in the NFL, don't leave Desean Watson out of the conversation. 2 straight years he's been a Pro Bowler. Excellent numbers again last season with 26 touchdown passes, 7 more added on the ground, and firm leadership and control of his Houston Texans team. Now he's looking forward to taking the next step and beating Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson in the playoffs and getting the Houston Texans to a Super Bowl.
This is David Johnson, the former All-Pro, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. It's Big Vince Williams who made the tackle.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Catch there by Brandon Cooks, and it's hard to believe that he's on his 4th team in 5 years because he's produced everywhere that he's been. Houston hoping to see the Brandon Cooks that they saw in New Orleans, in New England, and in Los Angeles. 2019, though, was his first year under 1,000 yards since 2014. He's looking for a bounce back.
On first down, Watson. He's got his tight end. It's Fells. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. From the 50, it's Watson. He finds his man Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
And there's a good catch by David Johnson. Good enough for a first down. And remember, come out of the University of Northern Iowa, he had played receiver his first couple of years in college before shifting to running back. Used to seeing the ball in the air. And when he's on his game, he's an excellent pass receiver.
A first down carry here for Johnson. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And he'll be taken down at the 26. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Good carry and pickup for a first down there by David Johnson, and he has a chance to fill a lot of voids for this Houston Texans team. They lost their 1,000-yard rusher from last year. Carlos Hyde went to Seattle. But back in 2016, David Johnson led the NFL in all-purpose yards with the Arizona Cardinals. The Texans will be happy to see that guy all year long.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. T.J. Watt, always a disruptor, there to blow that play up.
Well, let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
Second down, Johnson. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. 1 yard is the loss. They back up even further to a 3rd and 15.
He's got exactly what you're looking for, the ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
Third and 15 here after the 1st and 2nd down plays went in the wrong direction. From the gun, here's Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
The kick by Fairbairn is good. And it's now 3-0 Texans. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was hoping for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. And here comes Ben Roethlisberger out onto the field ready to lead this Steeler offense.
And for Ben Roethlisberger, there are a lot of question marks coming into this year because he missed nearly all of 2019 with an elbow injury. And if he were younger, maybe not as many questions. But he turned 38 back in March. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers expect to see the old Ben Roethlisberger, who's thrown for over 56,000 yards in his career, leading their team.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. And he'll throw right away. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Desean Johnson. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Good catch by Desean Johnson, and he really helped fill a void during his rookie season when he had 59 catches that led the team, and he was first among all rookie receivers last season as well. Not bad for the 10th wide receiver selected in the 2019 draft. Really good play. Expects to continue to get better in this Pittsburgh offense.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. First carry for the 2018 Pro Bowler, James Conner. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 11 now. Roethlisberger. Johnson's got it complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 44-yard line. They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5. Shotgun handoff to Samuels. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 15 yards on the play, 1st down. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. On 1st down, it's Samuels. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Connor. And he's going to be close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Texans' 15-yard line. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
3rd and inches, and they've got some extra beef up front. 3 tight ends. They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he's able to pick up the 1st down before he's tackled right at the 10. The 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
A good carry and a 1st down by James Conner, and this Pittsburgh team is really hoping he's back in form because last year the entire Pittsburgh offense suffered without Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. James Conner only 715 combined yards, but in 2018, he was a Pro Bowl running back. Combined yardage that year, 1,470. They're hoping for 2018 James Conner in 2020.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. The quick slant caught. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll toss this out right for Connor. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Nothing doing on 2nd and 3rd down after that 9-yard gain on 1st.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chipping. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So a dozen plays on that drive, CD, but in the end, it yields just the 3 points.
Well, they were able to keep the defense on the field for a long time, but let's be honest about it. That was about as unsatisfying a drive as you're going to get. 12 plays and you only get 3 points out of it. Not quite the ending they were looking for.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. A chance here, Charles, to talk about the Houston Texans before this next drive. They were handed no favors when the schedule came out this year. Kansas City and Baltimore the first 2 weeks, maybe the 2 best teams in football. And the Texans indeed lost in KC in the Thursday opener, then fell 33-16 at home to Baltimore. So is this just, hey, that's a bad start because of who you played, or is there reason for concern with these Houston Texans?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you're exactly right. The schedule, brutal to begin with. And look, they go to Pittsburgh this week, then they're home against Minnesota and Jacksonville. So we know what the schedule has in front of them. Not much that's easy. But let's face it, schedule's one thing. The other part is just the retooling of this team. Remember, they traded away DeAndre Hopkins. This is an offense that's still trying to find itself without their go-to receiver. If somehow they can get that figured out and start to gel, I think it's still a team that can make a run in their division, because some of these games are losing early. They might be able to make back against their divisional foes.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Out of the gun, Watson. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. Now he's flushed out left. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. Desean Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first. 3-3, a tight one after one on EA Sports. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, Watson on the move to his left. He's going to take off with it. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Watson, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. Operating from the gun, Watson, and that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This from 54 yards away. And this is going to wind up left. Well struck, but it's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. The Pittsburgh Steelers right now at 2-0, and despite the 2-0 start, the offense hasn't really shown consistency through 4 quarters of football, getting Big Ben back into the fold, but again, still 2-0. Now, rookie Chase Claypool in Week 2, he caught the longest touchdown pass thrown by Roethlisberger since way back Week 12 of 2018, an 84-yard reception. And also in that win over Denver in Week 2, Big Ben, Charles, he passed Eli Manning for 7th on the all-time passing yards list.
And Big Ben has passed his classmate because they were in the same draft together, Eli Manning, for some big numbers over the first 2 weeks of the season. And how about a running game? They're starting to get it going. In the season opener, James Conner got hurt. And guess what? Benny Snell filled in and had over 100 yards against the Giants. In this game, James Conner bounced back. He had a 100-yard game. But we both know the strength of this team is the defense. And as they like to say, the strength of the pack is the wolf. And they've got a ton of wolves on that defense. And the strength of the wolf is the pack. And you know they play really hard together. This is a team, they're near the top in sacks and yardage allowed. How about this now? Home next week against 0-2 Houston.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, is intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Here's Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on third down. Blanketed coverage by Houston. Makes it fourth down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
So the long field goal misses, and now the reverse. You're in a tough spot defensively. They'll start the drive at the 43. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now it's Watson. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. And it's 3rd down. And that one going to be off target and incomplete. The Texans on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun, Watson. He's got his target. It's Cobb. And he's got this down to the 35. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
And there was absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a first down pickup.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Watson. And he's going to keep it here. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he will have a touchdown. Desean Watson, 35 yards. And the Texans have taken the lead. And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on a passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice gain.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive, missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the posts. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start the drive with a give to Connor, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On 2nd and 7, Roethlisberger. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Roethlisberger now to throw on 3rd down. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Good catch there by Eric Ebron, and the Steelers are hoping that they see the 2018 version of this young man. 66 catch, 750 yards, and 13 touchdowns. And that was good enough for 2nd in the league with the Indianapolis Colts. The Steelers like to throw to the tight end. They hope Ebron is the guy.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now to Samuels. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
They go draw play. This is Samuels. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger setting up the screen. This is Samuels. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the 1st down. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On 4th down on is Dustin Colquitt to kick this away. DeAndre Carter's deep for the Texans. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't he?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
They begin the drive with Johnson. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. They'll try the air now with Watson. Got a man. It's Brown. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Operating from the gun, Watson. And that's complete to Cooks. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Watson to give. This is Johnson. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Third and 15 here after the 1st and 2nd down plays went in the wrong direction. From the gun, Watson caught by Cobb. And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a first as he's tackled at the 47.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Here again comes Juju Smith-Schuster and the Steelers. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Out of the gun, he'll throw. He gets this one to Johnson. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. That one into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a Pittsburgh 1st down, a gain of 13.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply, if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of his first half of action. Now Roethlisberger getting this one into the hands of Smith-Schuster. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
And there's a catch by Juju Smith-Schuster, and he's hoping there's plenty more of that coming. 2019, not the year he expected. Lost his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, early, dealt with a knee injury and missed 4 games, and his stats really fell. Just 552 yards through the air. But in 2018, what a big year he had then with Big Ben. 1,426 yards. He's hoping that the return of form of Roethlisberger leads to the return of form of himself.
Four receivers in the formation here. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. 2nd and 3. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. And that one finds the ground, breaking a string of 5 straight completions. And it brings up 2nd down. No, 3rd down.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
Blanketed coverage by Houston. Makes it 4th down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and that'll bring him back within 4. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. And here's David Johnson in the Houston offense yet again.
He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. On first down, Watson. Screen play, Johnson. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. Second and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Watson now to throw. Rolling to his right. He may try and run for this. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. On third down, Johnson. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll kick it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. Not much there, only a yard.
Still 9 yards to go on second down from the 27.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger.
Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster.
And he lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And they will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Texans touchdown. The pass receiver turned into a runner, then he turned into a fumbler, and it goes the other way for 6.
I love your description. Although for the offense, they're not too happy about it. But for the defense, what a big-time play for them. Never give up on anything. Sometimes you create your own points.
But the receiver, hard to fault him. He's just going for extra yard.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, but you have to take care of the football.
So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. Following the fumble recovery, it's Roethlisberger. Now been hit, and he lost the football. It's loose. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the second time. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Cameron Hayward in on the tackle. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. We just watched a strong first half from quarterback Desean Watson. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
41 Mike.
Here's Roethlisberger. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. And he finds McDonald. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Now Roethlisberger on first down. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And the catch made by Johnson. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 5 catches for him in that first half, and that's number 6 that we just saw, and also a first down. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. Again, it's Roethlisberger. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point. And what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue. Not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Ben to throw again. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Juju Smith-Schuster, 31 yards. And the Steelers are going to retake the lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And this one's right there, and that pushes the lead to 13-10. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter. They had that lead that is now gone. It is completely gone. Yeah, how does that affect the psyche? Or am I reading into that too much? They should be okay still?
No, you're not reading into it too much at all. You've got to wonder what the psyche is of a team, because once you build up a lead and things are rolling pretty well, you don't expect it to change. And for it to change this dramatically, and now they're the team doing the chasing, yeah, you want to check out where they are mentally and whether or not they have it in them to come back. We'll soon find out.
Yeah, they're on their heels a bit right now. On 1st and 10, Watson. He's got his tight end. It's Fells. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
On 2nd down now, it's Johnson. And maybe Shane's in the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down. Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Houston. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes Ben Roethlisberger and the Steeler offense back onto the field. He is looking to help his team build their lead after trailing at halftime. They've got to like the spot they're in right now.
They have to love it, but as you and I both know, cliche alert coming here. You're only as good as your last possession. But I think that they like, as you said, the spot they're in and how confidently they're playing at this point.
But again, just a 1-possession lead, looking to expand that now. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 34. They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6.
Here's Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10. On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Ebron with it over the middle. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Roethlisberger throwing complete to McDonald. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. His throw caught at about the 5. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another 18-yard gain. They had 18 on the previous snap as well.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
The Steelers were last in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage a season ago, down around 35%. It's 1st and goal.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Roethlisberger will throw. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. J.J. Watt able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. That is caught inside the 5. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st. A big play, but still not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal.
Nice job understanding the situation. 3rd and long, kept the play in front of them and made the tackle. They gave up a good chunk of yardage, but it does force a 4th down.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Boswell's kick is good. And that extends their advantage to 6. It's 16-10. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
Taken about 7 yards deep. And Carter deciding not to bring this one out. Houston set to take over.
Their lead, they have seen it evaporate completely after such a good first half. They've been shut down here in the 3rd quarter.
Searching for answers, trying to figure out what it's going to take to get back to where they were before. The big part of it is that sometimes you don't have to go exotic now. You go back to basics. Being able to run the football, string some things together, some effective passes, try and get a rhythm established again, and try and get back in the lead.
Back in the lead, like you said, back to the basics. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
He'll start with a handoff to Johnson.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
At the 23, it's 2nd and 12.
Again, it's Johnson.
And maybe shades of the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
It always helps when you get great run support from your safeties, and when you get one who can actually read the play and get upfield and shut it down before it gets going, that's exactly what you're looking for.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Watson. He can run for it, and he will. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
Under the category of obvious, you hate giving up a 1st down on 3rd and long. And somehow he finds his way downfield and picks it up.
If you look at the coverage defensively, oh, this is great, but no one accounted for him at the quarterback spot.
At some point, you actually have to tackle him and get him on the ground short of the 1st down marker.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They'll try the air now with Watson. He gets this one to Johnson. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
On 3rd down, Johnson. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Houston. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. He's continued to play well in the 3rd quarter. Now they've got the lead after trailing at halftime, so he's just looking, I guess, to continue the same recipe.
I agree totally, and you know you can get it done without your quarterback playing well, but it's so much harder to do. When he's playing like this, everyone feels better about their chances, and they're playing really well at this point.
Yeah, they are. They have to be feeling really good. Now the pass finding its way into the hands of Eric Ebron. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. Third quarter action in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, PA.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. But it's brought in by Washington. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a 1st down.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
And partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On the handoff, it's Samuels. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. The Steelers on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Roethlisberger. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 22.
He'll throw from the gun.
Stepping up, he'll try and run. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of just a yard, but it's a 1st down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Cameron Hayward, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
Sack there by Cameron Hayward, an all-pro in the 2019 season. He's been consistently good throughout his career. 29 sacks in his last 3 seasons.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. A shotgun snap for Watson. They'll roll him out right. He may try and run for this. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
3rd and long. It's Watson. Rolling to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. That's Vince Williams who gets the sack.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Houston.
Johnson on the return. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return.
And out will come the offense as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 42.
He'll set up to throw from the gun.
Short little throw to Ebron. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. And they've got to go thank the guys on D.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger staying on his feet. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
He's an absolute oak tree in the pocket because he is so hard to get on the ground. Not as elusive as he used to be, but still, trying to get him down, tough for any defender. In that case, he's able to move just enough. Incomplete pass downfield.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Again, it's Roethlisberger. Short little throw to Ebron. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now Ben going to give this one to Connor. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive alive.
Brandon, unfortunately, I've been here before. They've had 2 opportunities to stop them, so this is demoralizing. They haven't gotten it done. Now you're calling all your blitzes, all your attack defenses, but you're not worried about playing your normal position. You're going to take chances now.
Well, you said it. 2 third down opportunities to get off the field. Couldn't do it, and the clock continues to roll. Play action. It's Roethlisberger. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down. Well, a clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. You ran the previous play. Set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
The Steelers were last in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage a season ago, down around 35%. It's 1st and goal. This will be caught at about the 5. That catch good for only a couple. Three red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. To throw again on 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And it's caught. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. Here we go, a big play and a tight game late. They're going on 4th and goal. They'll try and throw for it with Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And this Texans defense comes up with a goal line stand. So that's a decision that could loom pretty large here. They go for it on 4th down, but come up empty.
But I actually like the call, and the reason? It shows me a head coach has faith in his team overall. First, on the offensive side, thinking they can pick it up, but also knowing that he has faith in his defense that if they don't, they'll go out there and stop them. I like the confidence he showed.
Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. The big man, Tyson Alualu, there to make the tackle.
And give him a lot of credit there, but even more credit to the guys up front. In that situation, you know it's going to be a stacked defensive front, and to be able to gain that much yardage, that's a big win for the guys on offense.
Yeah, they were just about standing on their own goal line, so to get a few yards there, a great start. Now we'll see what second down brings. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. From the gun, here's Watson. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. So a dangerous pass over the middle into zone coverage, and it bit him hard.
And what's really difficult when you throw it in that direction and versus that zone, that means the linebackers have gotten to their spot, gotten their heads back around, and they can see the quarterback and everything in front of them. And they took big advantage of it, went the other direction, excellent blocking, and picked up a touchdown.
So now the Steeler offense coming onto the field. They'll try to add 2 more. After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. And they turn the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized a little bit on top.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
We'll see if they can band back together after the pick 6. It hurt badly, but still within striking distance. A 2-score game with a good chunk of time on the clock.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Fresh off the pick 6, it's Watson. That really sets him back. A loss of 6.
Second and 16.
Operating from the gun, Watson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Watson. He's going to look deep down the field, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Here we go on 4th. Watson, and no, it's incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls rolls the dice, but to no avail. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. So now with a little over 2 minutes to play, the road back gets very difficult.
Difficult, but still not impossible if they go ahead and play this thing out. Now the defense has to come up big. They've got to go for their strip of the football on each and every snap to try and give themselves a chance.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
41's coming. 41's the mic. Black, what's that?
Roethlisberger will hand to Connor, and they'll get him down right around the 16. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Again, a run with Connor. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll run for it with Connor. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on 4th down. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And this Texans defense stands tall. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
Operating from the gun, Watson. And the catch made by Johnson. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Short play like that in this situation this late, that's a win for the defense.
No doubt. And I remember something Coach Madden used to talk about all the time. Sometimes you can't just take what the defense gives you. You have to take what you need. And in this case, the offense is taking what the defense is giving them, not what they need.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Watson, it's complete to Fuller. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. 8 yards, 1st down as they're able to convert.
There are a lot of tough routes to try and cover. When you see a runner come out of the backfield and run this angle route, looks like they're going to the flat, and then they put their foot in the ground and cut back sharply inside, not easily covered, and then when they catch it, good momentum built up by them as well.
And able to pick up the first. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You talk about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
I like what they did there because many of the deep throws we see in the course of a game come to the outside, the perimeter of the field. In this case, they used the slot receiver to run deep downfield and tried to connect that way. Unsuccessful in that attempt, but I like what they were doing.
On fourth down, Watson. He's going to let it fly. It's caught inside the 25. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. To the air yet again, Watson letting one go deep for the end zone. And this is caught. He's got it for a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, it's all going to come down to a 2-point conversion. Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough, but they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
And a pause in the action because the booth, they see something that they want to take another peek at to find out if this was a touchdown or not. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. He's got it, and it's 24-17. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So looking at this situation, you should have time for the onside kick and then at least one play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Roethlisberger dropping to a knee, and that ought to do it. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises. Really, both sides did. But they did what they needed to do at home to get the win.
Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap was a major league brawl. They had to win at the line of scrimmage, win downfield. They got all those things accomplished. But to win a close one like this, You know, every team wants to be physical. We've heard that a million times, right? But those who are mentally tough, those are the teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs. This was that type of a game.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. The Steelers are winners as we say so